Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fallen London. Today we're going to be carrying on with August's exceptional story, The Bloody Wallpaper. And I believe at the end of the last episode we managed to fix the boiler, which means cook a meal for the Northern Parliamentarian. Let's go downstairs. We also need to go to storage to fish out a relic. We have to prepare what now? Asks the mummified saucier, reading your order. I suppose it'll be the Pope's rump on flambe next, or maybe the crown jewels braised with a little chutney on the side. I'll go ahead, shall I, and stock up on flamingo meat. What a wonderful idea. Let's grab the meal from the dumbwaiter, and delivery from the kitchen. The dumbwaiter bangs into place with a clattering thud. Hopefully that's not the silverware knocking about. They're so inventive in the kitchen. Who else would use these ingredients? Don't ask questions if you'll regret the answers, says the creature. It slams the dumbwaiter door, almost catching your fingers. And here is the northbound parliamentarian. Move the candles closer. We want the third course to see us. Meatloaf, says the Procurer General, clapping his hands with delight. Parliamentarian cuts through another layer. Wait, that's not meatloaf, he says, even more delighted. He cuts through another. It is meatloaf. This goes on for some time. They finally stop trying to figure it out, but it probably isn't meatloaf. Unless it is. Everyone attacks the dish. The restless horror is frantic. The parliamentarian crams gobbets into her mouth. The bloated diplomat and headless priest shove the lamb aside. And the lamb bites the Procurer General. There's not enough. Not nearly. Is there ever? No. Bring more. Oh no, my unaccountably peckish. 2 total 3? This is a requirement. I don't like where this is going. We have another order for the kitchen. Back down we go. The Royal Bethlehem is lucky to have the nefarious sommelier. He worked for the gracious widow in the past, and they're still on good terms. The things one can learn about wine from the gracious widow. Not just wine either, but beer, air rag, honey mead, absinthe, brandy, and all the fine alcohols of the world. The widow has interests in brewing and distillation, professional, personal, legitimate, and criminal. To this day, the nefarious sommelier has lines to the widow's suppliers. Wonderful. Let's go all the way back up again. You can't tell which part is food. What a perplexing way to plate a dish. Says the creature. I happen to have appreciation. Here comes the slam. And there goes the dumbwaiter. Forks. We must have little forks. And lemons. They're customary. Surrounded by such pleasant company, it's easy to forget that this dinner is diplomatic. But the next course reminds everyone. An enormous fish, by some definitions, with gant scales, fleshy whiskers, quills. 2 heads, marinated in octopus bile and still embedded with the harpoon barbs and tackle that did the job. It's a cultural delicacy for the bloated diplomat who sits at the table with forks in both hands. Little forks. She leads the way. Eat this, not that. Squeeze a lemon. The others obey without question or complaint. Look at the false stars outside, says the parliamentarian, struggling not to breathe through her nostrils. Why don't we open a window for a better view? Oh, they didn't want a new order. Can I speak to them again? The last course was pungent. It lingers. I think something clean is needed. Luckily, we already have the supplies required, even for the Procurer General. This course is experimental. It opens the sinuses right up. The parliamentarian and the lamb assist the headless priest. They hold a bucket together and pour lye into his neck. The restless horror sips bleach, shivering. Is there more lemon-scented oil? The bloated diplomat wants seconds. Ah, so refreshing. Their taste buds tingle. They're ready to order the 6th course now, and they've been recalled to this evening's political point. They sit around, still swirling chemicals in cocktail glasses, and discuss the diet. Oh my god. Hey look, we got an order for the kitchen. Back down we go. Let's get some more cleaning supplies while we're here, just in case we need them. The illuminated sous chef and the left-handed underscullion are fighting about what seasonal means again. One thinks it means boneless, and the other doesn't. Just look at this recipe. The buffet later tonight is supposed to have bones, and the buffet is advertised as seasonal. Which isn't proof of anything except false advertising. Is it? Back up we go. Grab the food from the dumbwaiter. Receive a plated dish. Is it appropriate to serve this on a gala night? You're not even pronouncing gala correctly, says the creature. The dumbwaiter is already gone. Again. Wait, how do you pronounce gala? Gala? This is going to be another one of those words, isn't it? Oh no! My urge is too high, we have to go back down again. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Not to be blunt or invasive, but what is the seamstress? Senior staff, she says. I have followed the manager from hotel to hotel. Before the Beth, we worked in many fine establishments. This might be the finest. I really like the crown moulding. Lovely. Back up we go. Our taste buds are ready for something new. May it be a dish to remember. The headless priest leads them in prayer. You're commanded to light more candles. 7 for the false saints. 7 for the sins. 2 for the blessings of hatred and grief. To eat this salad, they'll need to sharpen their animosities and hold their noses. The restless horror is tempted, briefly, by the wiles of compassion. Nobody else is. On nights like tonight, the tongue can experience indelible sensations. This dish provides many. The salad is a blasphemy of seasonal ingredients. The bloated diplomat is sick under the table, but the lamb will get that. Bring the next course, says the parliamentarian. He's crying too much to speak more. Unaccountably peckish 6? There is no way this is going to end well. But, on the other hand, back down we go. Who is that bruised and battered figure staggering into the kitchen? It's the horrified courier. He's back from the covered market. And he has that pepper. Black pepper. He's not horrified anymore, though. He collapses into the mummified sorcier's arms. His head lolls and his limbs go limp. He stares at the ceiling with tears in his eyes. The things I've seen, he says. I never knew there was such beauty in this world. Enlightenment comes to everyone in different ways. Oh, ding ding ding. That's the bell at the front desk. You can hear it from anywhere. Whenever guests arrive, they ring the bell. Yes, let's greet the Boil of Calamities, Lord of the seething sky, Parasite of the skin of the sun. Just these 2 bags? You invite the Boil to sign the guest book. Meanwhile, red and gold bands slither over your shoulders and down your spine. Around the desk, the floor swarms. More snakes writhe through the revolving doors. Coils amass, piling higher. Scales press against the ceiling. What suite could hope to contain them all? Not even the mirrored boudoir with the double bed. I'll handle this, says the manager. Your rottenness, please follow me. He doesn't stay outside his office for long, only until the Boil of Calamities has been escorted into the boil room. When he returns, he's muttering, "Lend the maids a hand, will you? They misplace so many in there." Oh, so they want us to go to the ballroom? The Boil of Calamities has booked this room for tonight. The frazzled receptionist didn't have many options when she made the reservation. It's the only space big enough in the hotel. But the cleaning crew can't start slacking just because it's now filled with venomous snakes. The Red-and-Gold Gala is scheduled to commence within the hour. Let's provide support for the cleaning crew. Reinforcements are needed. Too many sponges are turncoats. During the course of the evening, the cleaning crew have already conquered the ballroom's filthiest redoubts. But they started with 8 indentured servants, and now there are 2. All the heroic charwomen have gone where heroes go. There's no more holy water. The battle-scarred housekeeper plots their next maneuvers with bone-chilling efficiency, and a tactical genius that would make Her Majesty's generals gasp if they understood half. The Boil of Calamities coils on every side. With your bucket of cleaning supplies, you charge into the snakes with the surviving maids. The battle-scarred housekeeper leads with a broom and dustpan. Here we have a bundle of dirty laundry. So, let's go. We carry on giving the food for now? Let's go give the food to the parliamentarian. Grab it off the dumbwaiter. Oh dear. How much is the Royal Beth charging for these meals? "If you're asking, you can't afford it," says the creature. The dumbwaiter drops back out of sight. We arrive at the 7th course. My favourite. And the last. Nothing will ever compare to the salad. Not tonight. Not any night. But the 7th course has its own significance. Almost everyone here reveres the number. The salt isn't special, but there's a lot. "A single ingredient course. Ingenious," says the Procurer General. He's wrong about that. There was always something funny about him, wasn't there? The high-pitched giggles, the disdain for dessert. Honestly, who doesn't love dessert? He looks like the Procurer General, he eats like the Procurer General, but things will happen tonight. And the real Procurer General won't know tomorrow. This man isn't him. If he revered the number, he might suspect what's next. But he doesn't revere the number either. In this room, that's a mistake. It will take them a while to finish the 7th course. Go speak to them again? Now we can. Check in on the Northern Parliamentarian. "We have our own meat to prepare. Salt is the only seasoning we need." Oh, they're totally eating their man, huh? It's reviled, even in hell, but the Procurer General will learn to like this meat. His friends are instructive, and the headless priest works miracles with salt. "Our stomachs are deep wells," says the parliamentarian. "Only on evenings like these can we hope to satisfy the diet. An impossible task, but our failures enhance our yearnings. There's a powerful hunger in the hotel tonight. Soon, you'll be able to feed it." Okay, let's just check the etiquette guide for a second. Deliver the impeccably ironed assortment of spotless laundry to the grand ballroom. Return the last weasel, which we still haven't found. Bring a relic from storage. Let's go down to storage. We can check out the lost and found. Guests leave the most peculiar things behind. Once, in the blue rat moon, they even come back to claim them. But after enough mould has grown, the staff move the items downstairs from the front desk. And when maggots threaten to hatch, the staff draw straws to see which lucky soul gets to carry them all the way downstairs. Aha, what's this? It's not even rotten yet, and the poison hasn't soaked through. Which isn't to say you're going to take it upstairs. Good lord, no. But you can safely pick it up and put it somewhere else. Now you'll be able to search further back, where the real treasures are sparkling like diamonds in a dung heap. Let's continue the search. From the depths of the Royal Beth storage, you've unearthed just the thing you need. We're looking for a typewriter, if I remember correctly. Now, in order to get to the ink-splattered room, I think we have to go all the way upstairs and down the stairs. Like all the way up the elevator and then down the stairs. Broom closet for some cleaning supplies. Wait, remind yourself to get back to work. Cuckoo clocks have invaded the broom closets throughout the hotel. Apply a cloudy yet ironclad account methodology. Management has determined you're too inefficient. Now you'll be constantly reminded. But with cuckoo clocks chirping in every broom closet, it's impossible to search for more buckets of cleaning supplies. You slam the door just in time. They were going to put you back to work. Oh, so I can't get any more cleaning supplies? Well. Oh, do I already have some? Never mind. Let's satisfy the writer's technically allowed request. A typewriter. You found one. Now I can write all I want. Type all I want. The gleam in his eyes, so intense and sickly. It's not too late for laudanum. No, laudanum, please. I can see every word I have to write. The mottled man is afraid to come out. The red bird is migrating. An excuse. It's this time of year, gala season. They daren't haunt anyone's slumber now. My dreams are bright, and the well is full, brimming with creativity. There's something beckoning at the bottom. I'm going to draw up the water. With this. The typewriter. He clacks his knuckles. Soon, the keys are clattering. Can I still clean the room? Yes, we can. This is why the manager forbids fountain pens in the Vales wing. For reasons beyond your pay grade, Mr. Vales officially settles the debts in this wing, even if unofficially Mr. Fires writes the checks nowadays. The rental bills for the guests, the charges for room service and laudanum, the repairs when accidents happen, and accidents often happen. If damages of this character occurred on other floors, management would dock the staff's salary to recoup costs. After all, they know the rules. But with endowments from the masters of the bazaar, the hotel can replace a great deal of ink-stained furniture. Which will have to happen. These fading couches are doomed. Anything else we can do for this man? We can check in on him? All the right words are leaping to mind so easily. It's like taking dictation. His hand-eye coordination hasn't improved. The typewriter doesn't deserve this. Still, he's filling pages rapidly. Stacks grow on the floor around his desk. It's unfiltered nonsense. Most things are spelled wrong, if they even have correct spellings. The syntax has suffered abuse, and the punctuation, well, just say a prayer. At least he's not spattering ink quite as much. Nothing else, thank you. Please shut the door. I'm on a roll. Lovely. Okay, so do we have to go down to the staff floors to do the laundry? I have a horrible feeling I'm going to be scouring the hotel trying to find this final weasel for forever. Let's cure our vapors while we're here. We don't need any food, do we? No, we just need to clean the laundry. Another load won't sink into one of the tubs. More polythreum apparel? On the contrary, it's the fluke inside the tub that keeps pushing the clothes back up. Just an infant, no need for concern. At this stage of early development, their bolus sacs excrete highly efficacious chemical compounds. Nothing works half as well. Efficacious for what? Removing Irigo ink, says the puckered laundress. What was I doing? Oh, right. She pushes the clothes underwater with a paddle and adds a drubbing. To the ballroom. Did I ever fix the fountain? I can check on the plumbing. Management keeps receiving complaints about the taste. Your job description, despite its inclusive terms, doesn't encompass plumbing. Unclogging hairballs, tightening faucets with loose loyalties, and applying the force cup. Yes, but nothing more extensive or subterranean. The manager merely wants you to take a look. If you notice anything odd, he'll send an urchin to fetch an expert from the Hanover cesspit. He knows someone reliable there. But you see nothing unusual. All the mermaids and cherubs are sufficiently nauseous. The drains are greedy. The algae still has the expected texture. Perhaps the guests just drank the water wrong. There are wrong ways. Well, let's deliver the renewed linen to the cleaning crew. War distresses fabric, but the surgical seamstress stitched every wound. The crafty chauffeur sacrifice won't be forgotten. Without his counterintelligence, the seating chart would still be incomplete. The battle-scarred housekeeper barks, "Tablecloths!" Maids unfurl billowing sheets. The last two indentured servants, an elderly married couple, wrestle an anaconda, while the ordained chambermaid folds preemptive napkins. When the tables are covered, you move in concert. She throws the little starched swans over the snakes. You catch and place them. It would be like ballet, if ballet had more venom and no applause. Okay, so they want me to go into storage again. Lovely. To storage. And we found it. Get the relic. Back to the ballroom. Arm the cleaning crew with tools of the trade. The ordained chambermaid has no children. She volunteers to set the silverware. Well, you found what you could downstairs. There's so much Christian iconography in London. The ordained chambermaid isn't Christian, but she's worked in hospitality for years. She could polish solid rust and make it shine. She gives parting advice to the spoons and forks. She sharpens the knives. "This might as well be solid rust," she mutters, lifting the tarnished religious relic. "But it'll do." When she chants, the silver resonates. For 7 precious seconds, the boil of calamities is mesmerized by St. Fiacre's gilded kidney stone. It's a small opening, but she doesn't waste it. We now have an order from the kitchen. Let's go down to the kitchen. The impatient Rotsier is complaining. Overtime? Who's ever heard about that? Only the manager's favourite clay men. They get special treatment. Bully for them. Everyone else has to kowtow to the clocks, and the clocks in the Beth rarely stick to the schedule. Take a glance, and the workday is over in 5 minutes. Take another, and it's 5 more hours. Makes it finicky to time the brisket, too. Let's make sure we pick up the food first, shall we? I remembered. There's no way anyone can eat this dish. Impossible. That's what we do here, if you hadn't noticed, the creature retorts. It's why this hotel gets good reviews. We make the impossible happen, and we do it with a smile. So take the plate and make it happen. I'm going downstairs for a smoke. Down the door slams. Down the dumbwaiter plummets. Amazing. Help the cleaning crew arrange the buffet. Is this really their responsibility? They're hygienic around food, but still. Most of the staff are unusually dead by now. The manager is understanding. He doesn't expect corpses to set buffets. Instead, anyone who survives earns the privilege. And what a privilege. Sometimes it's possible to steal a rind, even a crust. The battle-scarred housekeeper once tasted an apricot tart, but she put it back. Tallies are kept for the tarts. With the boil of calamities watching, however, there are no opportunities for dietary enrichment. Not that tonight's selection greatly entices. One lonely plate with a single sausage. Management must be very low on funds to call this a buffet. That must be a very special sausage. Oh, we're really close to attending the gala, so what have we not done? It's going to be the bloody weasel, isn't it? It is. Where's the last weasel? Oh. I didn't realise the rats wanted us to talk to them, and I just kind of did it without thinking. Eradicators can be so uncultured. You're only considering options. Some of the most gentlemanly thieves have the rudest knives, and the same might be said about rodents and teeth. But the infestation curtsies very well. Neither the management nor the staff can kill these rats unless they do it with kindness. Slow Cake's etiquette guide is particular. Besides, rats bargain like devils. They have something you're going to want, and you can get something they want. Kitchen doesn't need to know who's ordering. Let the dumbwaiter carry the dish upstairs like usual, then sneak it back down again. Trust us. You'll get a good tip after this. It better be the bloody weasel, that's all I'm saying. Alright, where's the kitchen? It's late. Without the assistance of various friendly powders and encouraging flasks, most of the chefs would have collapsed hours ago. But it's not time to take a break yet. More orders are coming from upstairs, so many more than you've ever brought down. Orders for sandwiches and steaks and soups. Orders for every sauce starting with S and seasoned with sinful spices. Orders for mice, sautéed and simmered, seared and smoked, with some served alive in small golden cages. One order, high priority, for fruit. Okay, then we just quickly just nip upstairs to the lobby. You look around inside the dumbwaiter. All the plates are here, including the dish you ordered, but the creature is nowhere to be found. Maybe it's still on a smoke break. You extract the appropriate plate and slam the door, as tradition demands. Brilliant. Let's go back down. Is it any surprise to find rats in the walls? This is London. You'll please recollect, however, that this is also the Royal Bethlehem Hotel and not some slum like the Acadian across town. The infestation here can calculate the true value of a curtsy. Well, let's serve the infestation discreetly. Room service has never felt so much like burglary. You avoid other servants. Taking back halls. Back halls. At one point, you hide. An existential entremetier is heading for a broom closet. It must have been a grueling salad course. After she's gone, you emerge from the sarcophagus. When you finally deliver the dish, the infestation has your tip bound and gagged. They captured this weasel in the walls. Despite its class pretensions, it's no rat. You also had financial garnish, but aware of the staff's situation. You don't stay to watch them feed. Would any respectable waiter? But you still hear their teeth. The weasel of distinction and 300 fistfuls of service currency. Thank you very much. Let's go deliver the weasel. Return one last weasel to the Countess. What happened? Why does it look like that? What did you do? Isn't this creature a weasel? At the very least, it's weasel-shaped. Just like the hat she's wearing, and the handbag she's holding, and all those furs in her suitcases. They're shaped remarkably like weasels. Or stoats. Maybe that's what they are. The Countess doesn't care for the last weasel, but it cares for her. Dr. Henry Muttonchops and Dr. Henry Muttonchops are investigating an abscess. Sally Ann is about to be cross. Lucifer has gone out the window, and good riddance. Management has enough lawsuits to fight without more solicitors nosing around. Okay, that was very, very strange. Can we check in on her? She's bundled up nicely, and those furs are exquisite. You can't see the Countess herself very well, but she's in there somewhere. She'll undoubtedly turn heads downstairs when she makes her appearance later. Now that she has all her furs, she makes no more requests. Is that everything? Are we done? Attend the Red-and-Gold Gala. Our time has come. The Red-and-Gold Gala should begin any minute. Everything is ready. The tables, the chairs, the napkins, the plates, the silverware and the buffet. The Boil of Calamities might not be satisfied by the buffet, but its displeasure is the manager's problem now. Let's attend the Red-and-Gold Gala. As a servant. You won't be a servant much longer. Your shift ends 1 second after midnight. Considering all the blood shed to prepare this ballroom, the result looks desolate. Nobody is here. The tables and chairs are empty. The buffet is the buffet. Clocks chime in the lobby. It's midnight. These clocks don't pull the usual pranks. They chime 12 times with perfect manners, and then they stop. You could hear a pin drop. The entire hotel is silent. Even the Boil of Calamities isn't hissing. When you look around, you don't see any snakes. Except for the ones on the wallpaper. The Royal Bethlehem Hotel has the same red and gold wallpaper in almost every room. Now the wallpaper is breathing again. Snakes have to breathe just like anyone else, and there are many snakes in the pattern. There are also frogs, monkeys, birds of paradise, an elephant hidden in the trees, crocodiles, spiders, and other jungle beasts. Not a single cat even more prominent than the snakes, are the lizards. Let's observe the scenery. The busy design for wallpaper. "How do you like our garden?" asks the manager. "I cultivate the thorns myself. Most guests won't enter the gate, but one writer in the Vale's wing takes little strolls along the path. It's a wonder whenever someone does. I try to encourage him. It's healthy for his mind to get outside. Too many people keep theirs locked in their skulls." He's standing right next to you. How long has he been there? Twigs snap. Leaves rustle. Something growls. Then something shrieks. Then something begins to bleed. Eyes open like palms filled with diamonds, sparkling in the underbrush. Guess we'll inspect the reptiles. They're already inspecting you. "They like the way you look at them," says the manager. "See how they grin. Some gardeners drive all the reptiles out. Their scales are divine horrors. That's a historical fact. But I open the garden gate. I welcome the outcast, the damned and the lost. I don't spurn the creeping evils. How could I and still run a luxury hotel?" Let's inspect the trees. Some have fruit. Some fruit is ready to pick. "Those are not ready to pick," says the manager emphatically. "But they're close. So very close. You'll know when the moment is ripe." And finally, let's inspect the elephant. You can only see one leg through the leaves. "How did that elephant get into the garden?" asks the manager. "It's supposed to be in the broom closet, where nobody can see." Some guests, unbelievable though as it may sound, still have innocent eyes. We wouldn't want the Colonel's souvenir to spoil the surprises of the future. Let's inspect the buffet. Ravenous arabesques crowd the walls closest to the table. They love sausage. You can smell it hours ahead of time. Sometimes even days or weeks. They can't eat it. They live in the walls, and this sausage is not in the walls, it's on the buffet table. If only they could eat food on the buffet table, it would be so much easier to feed them. We wouldn't have to go through all this. The manager waves his hands, vaguely. "All this rigmarole. That's why you're here. I need someone to help. The wallpaper has gone out of fashion. It must be peeled away, every last scrap." "Remove the wallpaper? Now? What about the Red-and-Gold Gala?" "I've never heard of such an event," says the manager. "The hotel is practically vacant. That's why it's a good time to peel the wallpaper." "Vacant? What about the boil of calamities? The brass embassy ladies, the rumpled gentleman and the absent lady, well, maybe not her, the great poet Fuseli, the lady in the salmon camino, the prince and the parliamentarian, and the condescending countess with the weasels. Yeah, lower occupancy than I thought. Most people are in private parties elsewhere. I know the Red Bird likes to visit the Riviera. This is the season, after all. We always have slow nights during the season, but our guests still deserve our best service. Here comes the Countess now. You're misinformed. There is no Red-and-Gold Gala tonight. Well, let's greet the condescending Countess. It's about time. I've been waiting for 2 seconds, I'll have you know. My most sincere apologies, madam. The manager sweeps off his hat and threatens to snap his spine by bowing so extravagantly. Even 1 second delay is intolerable. He personally leads her down the garden path. She's mollified by the roses. They smell like victory after battle. Ah, you should smell the corpse lilies, he says. Perhaps you already do. He lifts gigantic petals so the Countess can stoop underneath. He looks at beasts in the underbrush, firmly, and they retreat. He escorts her to a table. The lady has a coat, he tells you. That's a direct order. Well, let's take her coat. It's a fur coat. Handle it with care unless you want a pay cut. You had your suspicions about Dr. Henry Mutton Chops and Dr. Henry Mutton Chops. They may be real doctors, but they're not real weasels. Neither is Sally Ann. Lucifer was a real weasel, of course, but Lucifer isn't here. All these furs are rotten. Fish preserve better at room temperature. Clumps stick to the Countess. You have to rip them. She doesn't mind. She's too focused on the sausage. Is that? Rat, says the manager. Homegrown. Tonight's special. Inside every weasel is a snake. They're convincing actors. They've mastered the mannerisms of the typical purebred. They now hiss hungrily. Well, let's peel the wallpaper. Well, says the manager, I gave you an assignment. Do it. You peel down the lizards and snakes easily. They're ready to leave the walls. The monkeys are resigned. The birds fly away. Most animals hide deeper inside the illustration, and the frogs dive underwater. But the crocodiles do not want to be touched. They're arrogant, old and angry, says the manager. They've been in the garden since the second city. I gave them room and board when nobody else would. So many people have such disrespect for royals with lost crowns. But I've been managing hotels for a long time. I always renew the lease for the garden. I guess we'll just keep peeling the wallpaper. How many layers are there? You're ripping down a jungle's weight in paper. The Countess of the Fanged Threshold cuts the sausage. She forks a piece and feeds her hat. Then she feeds her bracelet, her purse once more, patience. Her belt is next. They don't need to worry. It's a bigger buffet than you realized. There might only be one sausage, but it's stuffed with generations. No snake will go hungry tonight. The more paper you peel, the more snakes slither out. The jungle is gone. The walls are open. Coils fill the ballroom. Can't see the Countess, but she won't complain. Red and gold are her favourite colours. The ballroom is closed for tonight. What do you want me to do? Oh. Yeah, we just have to keep peeling the wallpaper, huh? Even the pages in the employee manual have the same jungle pattern. How you're treating the book is against the rules in the book. Slow Cakes does not condone this. Ripping out the pages takes muscle. The spine is thick, and the glue is hideously durable. The instructions keep telling you to stop, but it's easy to ignore them. The wallpaper is so loud, and the text is printed directly on the wallpaper. Jungles have a tendency to put etiquette into perspective. I think I know where this is going. We need to peel the wallpaper in the front desk. Under the jungle, you find a grassland, wind-swept plains, galloping horses. They can't gallop fast enough. You rip them apart to reveal a city surrounded by flowering mountains. The air is sweet. The streets have steps, and you're about to be sick. This altitude demands a toll. You shred it before you have to pay. How many layers are there? You reduce kingdoms to plaster dust, claw canyons, pull islands from painted oceans. You move dunes, you tear temples down. Finally, you hit limestone. It's chiseled with hieroglyphs that mean, please ring the bell for service. The fountain in the lobby. Let's peel the wallpaper. Look closer. That's no mosaic. When you peel the paper-thin mosaic away, there's a pit underneath. It's a bottomless well. No wonder guests were complaining about the water. London's wells are not famous for their refreshing taste. Even the manager would be appalled to discover this cavity in the lobby. Whether the free supply might reduce utility costs or not. There's something down there. Something dead. It's floating like a drowned man. Management won't be happy. If that's a guest, they dodged the booking fee. The long bar? Some bars have mirrors behind the bottles. The Royal Bethlehem's bars has mirrors too, but these mirrors are printed pictures on the wallpaper. Well, let's peel the mirrors. The inebriated cat was right. The walls are doing that thing again. The mirrors are stuck, all higgledy-pickledy in the jungle on the wallpaper. Some reflect the bar in the lobby. but others reflect flop houses, tenements, gambling dens. Different bars in London appear frequently. At first glance, you mistake a couple of the Beth's own reflections, but they don't have enough grenadine. There's the inebriated cat. It's playing poker with bloodhounds from Concord Square. Privileged by the mirror's angle, you can see that it's cheating, unless they're playing with 52 aces. You peel every reflection away. There's no glass, just paper and paste. The broom closet? You've been so busy all night, but now you've had time to stop and admire the wallpaper behind the brooms and dustpans. Management really does plaster this pattern everywhere. The broom closets are staff-only areas. Management never invests much where the guests don't look, and it's no different with the wallpaper here. Only one measly strip. When you pull the paper down, it rips through the building. Broom closets pop apart, deadly chemicals escape to make mischief. Ceilings and floors collapse. Was this load-bearing wallpaper? And finally, the stairs. The lift has an out-of-order sign. Now the stairs are your only choice. They look even worse than before. Taller, tighter. Half the steps have holes. Let's just quickly climb and don't look down. Room 24B? Unsurprisingly, there's more dirty laundry. This is what happens when fashionable people don't wear the same outfit twice. Apart from the skin, the room is unoccupied. Well, let's peel the wallpaper. There's even more laundry in the underbrush. Now we're getting wasteful. The wallpaper practically peels itself. It's so flaky and dry. It has scales, which are common designs, but the patterns repeat constantly in the room. Every tree and plant in the jungle is covered. The branches are pleased by your service. The vines and ferns commend you. The thorns poke you to test for plumpness, and the stems yank them away. Instincts are hard to control. They're all wearing gold crowns, every root and shrub and slithering begonia. You're surrounded by kings, hungry kings. They're always hungry when it's tax season, and the Royal Bethlehem has delicious debts to pay. The pomegranate room. The manager told you some fruits weren't ready to pick. Not when you were inspecting them earlier, but he said you would know when the moment was ripe. Well, the moment is ripe. Peel the wallpaper. The wallpaper is tender. Your fingernails dig deep. Behind it, you find the expected pomegranate seeds. There are so many. Great clusters, juicy, dripping, have been jammed between the wooden support beams like skulls packed into a popular catacomb vault. But the skulls people pack into catacomb vaults aren't usually encased in sticky red jelly. Not like these skulls. From a distance, they actually do resemble seeds. Big seeds. But get closer. They're grinning. They all have tags. Property of the Earl. Oh, room 10. Most rooms in the hotel have mirrors. Indeed, the management prides itself on the fine quality of the glass. This room is special. All the mirrors are black, and the booking is reserved for one specific guest. It can stand empty for years when she doesn't visit. Oh. Check in on the absent lady. She's not absent now. She's reading the book you left on the nightstand. You're having a dangerous dream. The kind that's really happening. I've worked with the manager before. He claims to respect my advice. I told him not to renew the lease. So much for that. Now the bills are due again. You were hired to pay one this time. She looks at the autumn leaves through the window. My favourite season. I can't deny the manager knows how to colour coordinate. One of his deadliest talents. But you have to get out. And his way is the only way. Peel this hotel apart. Let the walls riot. Closes the book. The mirrors crack. Ravens pour into the room until everything's black. I wasn't here. We never spoke. Most of this nightmare is real. But not this part. You want to head upstairs again? The ink-splattered chamber? Typewriters are not better than pens. They might be worse. Of course, the perpetrator isn't here. Not wise to linger at the scene of a crime. Well, let's peel the wallpaper. There's no other choice. It can't be saved. These new stains are catastrophic. These stains aren't random splatters. They're words. Millions and millions of words, densely written, overwritten. Enough to fill dozens of books. Or 7. Black alphabets congeal. The words are too willful to bleed together. They cling to the wallpaper when it peels. Their sentences stretch like tar. They stick to your hands, your clothes, your face. They get into your eyes. You can't help it. You read them. After that, but in your brain. Will the eye at the keyhole? It's definitely watching you. Is it ever going to blink? Let's check on the relentless voyeur. This guest is still behind the door. How will you get to the wallpaper inside?
I know what you're trying to do. Don't lie. They took the pens that my sister brought last month. Those were birthday presents, and now you want to take my paper just because it's on the walls. But I'll tell you a little secret. I don't need pens or paper. All the text I've ever comprised is right here in my head. I remember each word perfectly. The manager tries to get inside, but I won't open the door. Not for him. Not for you.
Okay. The rattling door. It's not rattling anymore. The door is wide open. The long-standing tenant must have finally decided to check out. Let's investigate the room. Wonder of wonders. This is the best accommodation in the Royal Beth. Better than the Peacock Suite. Better than room 5. Better than the penthouse. Hey, I want to upgrade. I live in the penthouse. The furnishings, the area and its arrangement, the quality of the air and light, they're everything you desire. The room reveals hopes you possess, but never consider. It shapes itself to please. It can be anywhere. It can be anything. It can be the penthouse. But right now, it's the Vales wing, and it's booked. 10 identical emperors stop what they're doing with the tomatoes when you enter. The struggling artist doesn't notice you, but the lady in the salmon Camino does. Her eyes are peeled. The astrologers predicted this. Before you know it, you're back in the hall. The door is locked again. Wonderful. Let's go upstairs again. Room 777. What a nice surprise. The northbound parliamentarian has left the room spotless. And there were so many scraps. Guests rarely clean up after themselves. You may have shortcomings, but she's actually quite well mannered for someone in Parliament. Let's peel the wallpaper. Does this paper have more paste than usual? It's sticking strongly. The paper doesn't want to stick, it's trying to come off. Snakes stretch as you grab them. Lizards scramble toward your hands, but you can't pull hard enough. Every creature gets slurped into the walls. The walls would devour you too if they could. Who knows? Maybe they will. So many guests have been eaten so much, and all this hunger inside the hotel itself feels a little peckish. Saliva drips from the ceiling. The walls begin to chew. The walls chew thoroughly. Oh dear. Oh, I'm not looking forward to the red suite. It was always this red. It will always be this red. Peel the wallpaper. Wait, you have an idea. Perhaps you can make it more this red. The evidence is overwhelming. The conclusion is obvious. The hypothesis is trivial to test. You grip the wallpaper like loose skin and rip it away. And here it is, the subcutaneous fat. It's preposterously thick wallpaper. That was the first clue. The veins were the second, the hair was the third, the blood was the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and all the other clues. There's so much blood. You can't be expected to catalogue each drop. You flay the walls. This would be easier if you had a palette knife. And room M12. You never did peel away the crocodiles downstairs. They complained with royal pique. Now they're on the walls in this room. They're already complaining again. Well, let's wrestle the crocodiles. Sometimes you just have to ignore the complaints from the guests. It's a bloody struggle. The river runs red. The crocodiles have obsessively sharpened their complaints since the days of the pharaohs. They puncture arguments with lethal points, and you also have to deal with all those teeth. They're ancient, they're strong, they would kill you, but they refuse to relinquish their gold. Bracelets, rings, crests and collars, necklaces loaded with pendants, great piercings in their nostrils, headdresses, but no crowns. Their movements are constrained. The treasure is heavy, and you have handholds. This is outrageous. They're going to speak to the manager. They're welcome to try. Now we have to peel the wallpaper on the stairs too. This is the trickiest paper to peel yet. It's not actually on the stairs are on it. Another repeating pattern. Now you're shredding them. That's right, says the manager. Rip them apart, you won't need to use them again. I'll be taking those keys, by the way. They're a choking hazard. He's on the landing, watching you work from above. He slips your key onto his ring with the rest, then he jangles the bunch. How musical. They sound like dinner bells. You're almost done. There's only one strip left. The stair you're standing on. You've been a great help, says the manager. Rest assured this is your final task. The Royal Beth owes taxes and tithes, but we don't settle our debts with tasteless real gold. We pay with golden dreams. Those have a richer flavour. Now your nightmare is golden enough for the gala. You know what to do. Well, let's peel the last strip of wallpaper. Gala isn't what the manager actually said. Everyone mishears this word. Its etymology is a nightmare. Its definition is a dream. Comprehension means only one thing. Madness. It's a red gullet. It doesn't have any gold, except for the gold it swallows. But it has swallowed empires. Now, it's waiting for more. Peer over the edge of the stairs. You see gold stuck between fleshy folds. The red walls have great golden tonsil stones, deeper in the dark. More gold sparkles. Dreams that never came true. Promises nobody kept. Missing meanings and lost purposes. Peel the wallpaper. Underneath the paper, teeth open wide. They have golden crowns and bloody red gums. The stairwell is a throat, and you're going down. If you were at home, in your own bed, you would jolt awake right now. But you're not at home. You're not in bed. You're not even asleep. You're still on the clock, and your shift won't end until the manager harvests this nightmare. With all the gold, he'll be able to settle one entire bill. He has many, and he'll need to appease every debt collector eventually. However, there's the fine print. Your dream will determine tonight's payment. So we can pay the royal rent. The kings of Parabola extract a tithe from commercial properties. Requests from the countess or the requests from the gentleman. We can pay the blood tax. Much has been shed after a certain amount. It costs extra. We can pay the catering fee. Management hasn't paid this bill in ages. Nobody even tries to collect it anymore. Or we can pay the Christmas bonus. Last year's bonus, that is. It's still in arrears. The staff treat its existence as a myth. And it can carry on being a myth. Let's pay the royal rent. Oh, I'm torn between blood tax and royal rent. We pay the blood tax? That's the more interesting one, right? I feel like most people are going to pay the Christmas bonus because most people are like nice. Let's pay the royal rent. Oh my god, my nightmares are 43. You're in a king's gullet, of course, but not for long. Another king opens a door. Scales scatter like bloody gold coins. A forked tongue arrives to announce their next despot. You're devoured again and again and again. There are many kings. There's only one of you to feed them. But these monarchs possess a rare virtue. They share. You're back in the garden. The Royal Bethlehem Hotel sits on a modest parcel, but the flower beds continue to slither for hectares beyond your wildest dreams. Tonight's rent will pay for every fang of grass and every venomous dewdrop. The boil of calamities is here, and the rumpled gentleman and the countess. But the guest book has a million other names, and that's just the first page. Turns out the buffet wasn't big enough. Appetizers aren't meant to be. All things considered, says the manager, it's a very cheap dream. Your compensation tonight is the value, but I refuse to pay more when the rents are already so high. We'd be insolvent if our accountants didn't constantly kill other expenses. I'm glad they work off-site. Still, see how the nightmare blooms. Aren't the scales beautiful? Wait, well, let's submit to the manager's harvest. Hold still, or don't. I adore dreams with thorns. You're sitting in the manager's office again. You have a pounding headache. There's a gap in your memory and in your life. Something big is missing, but you can't begin to guess what. Gaps like these often have frayed edges, little moments that are still connected to other events you do remember. Not this one. It was clipped cleanly by gardening shears. I'd smell the flowers on the manager's desk. Can't smell anything else. They're more potent than spilled cologne. Whether you like the aroma or not, it lifts the fog. You didn't realize you felt so exhausted. Your whole body aches. Every muscle submits to a complaint to your brain, but your brain is tired. It can't sort through this mail right now. It would rather snuff the candles and go to bed. The manager snaps his fingers. No catnaps, you're still at work. It's vital that you remain awake. The guests can sleep. The guests must sleep. But the staff can never rest. Did you read the contract? Guess I'll review the contract. You might have overlooked a few clauses. So many people ignore the fine print, says the manager. Here, take a look. Did you see the footnotes under the footnotes? Not the Edigo text, read the invisible ink. Dastardly contracts are de rigueur in London, but most still require a blade to stab somebody in the back. This contract would scoff at the sharpest knives. I don't write the terms. In my humble opinion, there are too many technicalities, so I mail all the pages to prospective employees. The owners grumble, but I truly believe people need time to read everything. Don't you recall? I mailed your contract. Well, let's inspect the fine print. You did not see this loophole before. The hiring process was a blur, but you're certain that nobody explained this detail. You were employed specifically to serve the Royal Beth's debt collectors. It's a loophole worthy of hell. By contracting the service to a seasonal worker, the manager only has to pay your wages for tonight to settle the hotel's outstanding bills. To settle one bill temporarily, he clarifies. Next season, the snakes will be hungry again, and they have drowsy metabolisms. Now I just need to appease the Queen. She likes when we're in the red. I don't. I was a delinquent once. The penalty still tortures me every night. What about the catering fee and the Christmas bonus? After this third city fell, the caterers stopped collecting, and I don't celebrate Christmas. Not my religion. Those debts can wait forever. Let's consider the manager's lizard. It's still on his desk. This reptile is the one who explained your contract so badly. It's been a long night, says the manager, patting your hand. Don't worry, the mean old lizard won't talk to you anymore. You're about to clock out. You can finally rest. If you wake up in the morning and the lizard is still talking, come and tell me. The Royal Beth retains a compassionate doctor. The lizard doesn't comment. Its eyes are still closed. Is it asleep? Almost always. See the beautiful scarlet scales? And they turn gold when my little pomegranate molts. Lizards with these colours hibernate for months at this time of year. I mean, I guess I'll collect my wages. You're not dreaming. Payday is really here. Let the riches rain down. The Royal Bethlehem accepts many currencies. Some, like diamonds, are even physical. Most guests pay with dreams. And most dreams in the till. and nightmares. Each guest's rate is calculated individually, but there's a general rule. They owe the largest amount they can afford. Management waives the collection fee, however, to cushion the fall into poverty. From all the way upstairs, some guests have punishing descent. But the collection does have a cost. All labour does. When a specialist is required, it costs more. Few people can count dreams like coins. Fewer have the stomach to fold nightmares like banknotes. None stack them as neatly as the manager. Look at his desk. He takes yours. He adds them to the stack. It's painless for you. It's easy for him. Great lords and ladies have sacrificed estates for less relief. But he doesn't charge you anything. You earned it. Excellent work tonight. Are you serious? I did all of that just to him to reduce the nightmares that I already had. Are you serious? He gave me these nightmares. Well, let's be professional. Smother every emotion. Whatever you feel, you don't express it. Not joy, not sorrow, not even neutrality. Your manners are so impeccable that nobody would know you exist. You blend into the wallpaper. Even the manager forgets you're here. He's doing more paperwork. The lizard on his desk opens an eye. It's not hibernating, it sees you. Nice try, but good manners don't fool me. The manager doesn't hear it. He's not inside the wallpaper, but the lizard is always here. Not alone either. There are more lizards. So many more. But nobody notices. Their etiquette is perfect, even better than yours. They disappear. You never saw them at all. Well, let's leave through the lobby. Your shift ended 7 minutes ago. You should already be gone. Management can move quickly when the matter is urgent. All the wallpaper is already back. The fountain is fixed. The stairs are repaired. The lift is operational. The frazzled receptionist is at the front desk. She's trying not to yawn. I was taking a break. It's dead in here. Before you leave, she reviews the reservations. The night might be slow, but sometimes the hotel gets busy. She doesn't want to double book anything by accident. But the dates are right. Your name is here. Your room will always be ready. Oh, it's the end of the war. That's how long I've been in this exceptional story. Oh, here's that new tab. I read that they added this to the game where you can now have constant things are in a tab up here, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But this is the first time I've seen it because I've been in that exceptional story. That was a very long exceptional story. But let's do the epilogue. This is the perfect lawn to play croquet. It's well maintained. The ground is level and the grass is actually green. The veteran Privy Councillor's cousin's husband's sister is the ideal hostess. Charming, insightful, witty, resourceful, everywhere at once and yet never hurried. She has a lovely home. It's a rental, but who doesn't rent in this market? The Castropod Cup was thrilling. 2 slugs broke the track record. Between losing croquet balls in the shrubbery, the struggling artist delivers his own report. He had a magical evening in the Red-and-Gold garden party, but everything was overpriced. The Boil of Calamities hogged the buffet. Only one poet made an appearance and didn't recite. The season won't last much longer. It's clearly too popular now to be fashionable. Nobody dreams about red and gold anymore. But this is fallen London. Even the poorest citizens might have the richest fantasies. Slumber is a treasury. Nightmares are wealth. Everyone, without exception, will dream about money tonight. You have finished the exceptional story. My, that was an incredibly long episode, an incredibly long exceptional story, and it was very interesting. I'm not sure I liked the up and down the stairs, but I'm not entirely sure how you'd manage to do that in any other way. It fit thematically. It was just a little annoying for the recording process, but other than that, I love the writing, I love the story. I can't believe I got ripped off by the manager, though. I suppose I should believe that I got ripped off by the manager. My voice is absolutely destroyed. This is a very long episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe if you want to see more Fallen London content. Obviously, the next exceptional story is already coming, I believe. So that will be soon. And obviously, if you want to support the channel, become a member. It really does mean the world to me. There's also coffee and other things like that. But, as always, we'll see you next time.